Today we're going to learn about Patrick Troughton, the actor who portrayed the Second Doctor. In 1966, Doctor Who producer Innes Lloyd looked for a replacement for William Hartnell in the series' lead role. The continued survival of the show depended on audiences accepting another actor in the role, despite the bold decision that the replacement would not be a Hartnell lookalike or sound-alike. Lloyd later stated that Hartnell had approved of the choice, saying, "There's only one man in England who can take over, and that's Patrick Troughton." Lloyd chose Troughton because of his extensive and versatile experience as a character actor. After he was cast, Troughton considered various ways to approach the role to differentiate his portrayal from Hartnell's amiable yet tetchy patriarch. Troughton's early thoughts about how he might play the Doctor included a tough sea captain and a practical figure in blackface and turban. Doctor Who creator Sidney Newman suggested that the Doctor could be a cosmic hobo in the mould of Charlie Chaplin, and this was the interpretation eventually chosen. Troughton was the first Doctor to have his face appear in the opening titles of the show. In one serial, The Enemy of the World, Troughton played two parts as the protagonist, the Doctor, and the antagonist, Salamander. During his time on the series, Troughton tended to shun publicity and rarely gave interviews. He told one interviewer, "I think acting is magic. If I tell you all about it myself, it will spoil it." Years later, he told another interviewer that his greatest concern was that too much publicity would limit his opportunities as a character actor after he left the role. In a rare interview with Ernest Thompson from Radio Times, Troughton revealed that he always liked dressing up and would have been happy as a school teacher, as children keep one young. Troughton was popular with both the production team and his co-stars. Producer Lloyd credited Troughton with a leading actor's temperament. He was a father figure to the whole company and hence could embrace it and sweep it along with him. Troughton also gained a reputation on set as a practical joker. Many of the early episodes in which Troughton appeared were among those discarded by the BBC. Troughton found Doctor Who's schedule, at the time 40 to 44 episodes per year, grueling, and decided to leave the series in 1969 after 3 years in the role. This decision was also motivated in part by fear of being typecast. Some more information here. Just a brief backstory, may as well give the show slight more context. Lloyd and story editor Jerry Davis came up with an intriguing way of writing the first Doctor out. As he was an alien being, they decided that he would have the power to change his body when it became worn out or seriously injured, a process that was called renewal, but would later become known within the mythology of the series as regeneration. Lloyd and Davis cast actor Patrick Troughton, who first appeared in November 1966 after the changeover from Hartnell had been seen at the end of the story The 10th Planet. That serial also introduced the popular Cybermen, villains who would return to face the Doctor on several subsequent occasions. Troughton played the role generally in a more lightweight, comical manner, albeit still with much of the original character's passionate hatred of evil and desire to help the oppressed. He also on occasion showed a darker side, manipulating his companions and the people around him for the greater good. Examples include the Tomb of the Cybermen and the evil of the Daleks. Davis left the show at the end of the 4th season and was replaced by Peter Bryant. A few months later, Lloyd left the show and Bryant was promoted to producer. Bryant's successor as script editor was Derek Sherwin, though Victor Pemberton had filled the job for Bryant's first serial, The Tomb of the Cybermen. Troughton remained in the part for 3 seasons until 1969, eventually tiring of the workload of starring in a regular series. By this time, the viewing figures for Doctor Who had fallen considerably. A new script editor, Terence Dix, recalled that there was some talk of ending the series after its 6th season in 1969, although this has been denied by Bryant, Sherwin and director David Maloney, with paperwork suggesting it was actually in danger at the end of the 7th season in 1970. The series' budget was also increasingly strained by the cost of exotic sets, costumes and props every time the Doctor visited a new setting, and so Bryant and Sherwin, now effectively acting as co-producer, though the BBC refused to credit him as such, came up with the idea of reducing the cost of the series by setting all of the adventures on Earth, with the Doctor to act as a scientific advisor to an organization called UNIT, the United Nations Intelligence Task Force, charged with defending the Earth from alien invasion. This new setup was tested in the Season 6 story The Invasion, and at the end of the season was put in place more permanently by having the second Doctor captured by his own race, the Time Lords, and sentenced to exile on Earth, with his appearance being changed again as punishment for his interference in the affairs of other races. Thus, Doctor Who ended its 6th production block in its black and white era. From then on, in common with other British television programs, it was produced in colour. We'll continue our discussion of the power of the Daleks in this episode 3's retrospective next time. Thanks again, my friends. Have the best possible day and night you have ever imagined. Appreciate it.